Hello, good evening. My name is Aaron Carreras, and I'm gonna talk about our expansion road from Mexico to Guatemala for this new company of beverage, Pascual. We're gonna be talking about in two main points. The first one is the environment that we're gonna find in for Pascual in Guatemala, and the second one is our business strategy to enter in this new market with a new business proposal. For the first point about what are we going to find, the first thing that and the most important is our co-workers. It's that Guatemala have a work culture. They used to go working for an average of 40 hours a week, or 8 hours a day from Monday to Friday. This means that the Guatemalan people has a strong culture, working a strong culture, a strong working culture. About the purchasing power, our neighboring country Guatemala has a gross domestic product made of mostly private sector, about 85%, followed by agriculture, just with a 23%. In Guatemala, the gross domestic product could be said that has a low level. So, unfortunately for us, it's favorable because the country receives much more income from private sector than the agriculture in their country. So they favored the entry of new companies to the country. For the second point, it's about the political system. For Mexican client Pato Pascual, Guatemala has a tax incentives for his company, being also a country with the largest economies among the neighbors, having a strategy positions between the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. We currently have been among the three top foreign countries that invest with them, so we have a preferential treatment to export products with them. And talking a little bit more about the exporting products, they have import quotas. For Guatemala, there is a tax on the final value of the product and not on the weight of the imported merchandise or resource has the other countries have. On average, this tax it means 27% of the total value of the merchandise. Has duty in Guatemala only at Valorem tariffs are applied, which means that customs is charged according to the value of the item that pass through the frontiers. Once we talk about those main points, we need to start asking about which strategy are we gonna use and start taking strategic decisions. Personally, I believe that we could enter to the Guatemalan market due to the closeness it has with our country, and that if we want to expand to another Latin American countries, Guatemala will be like a center from which we could start going to a few other countries like Belize, El Salvador, or Honduras. We should start our expansion to another country gradually. Due to the proximity we have with Guatemala, at first our taxes will be expensive, an estimate of 27% for importing our products, and being that this will be able us to import our products and gain a position in the market of the culture of Guatemala. As we create and gather demand of investment, we could be made for starting a production plant and bottling companies in the country. Speaking a little bit more about the money, we when we start expansion, we must take advantage on the fact that it's a country without many tariffs than the other countries has. Tools of import of merchandise that they charge you in customs. Therefore, our expansion cost will depend on a lot on the amount of product that we send as the first batch for sale. Assuming that if you want the flood the capital of the country, it means supermarket, Walmart, Pies, and Maxi Despensa. That those are some of the principal markets in Guatemala. We will use a total amount of 2,050 pesos that will be required plus taxes to flood with merchandise. About the national market, entry to the national market will give us a competitive advantage against national ranking companies that sell regionally, and we will have corresponding contracts with the commercial chains. We will be able to fill the market which most transportation expense other than the authorized center and warehouses at the commercial chains or the main commercial chains. With experience, we have distributing in our country, this huge country like Mexico. Guatemala will not be a problem due to the territorial extension. It's shorter than our country. We already have experience with these distances by distributing our products. So we need to focus our entrance to the Guatemala country, thinking about the strategy alliances that we should make. We will start as export. We will start exporting our products to the country, leaving a gap for creation of joint venture, where the future we could look for related companies to absorb them in Guatemala and take advantage of their resources, permits and licenses for the production and distribution of well-known Mexican products. By a conclusion, the expansion to Guatemala will should be gradual and increase demand without investing a large amount of money. Second part of this conclusion of the presentation, the first phase will involve exporting products to shopping centers from Mexico to Guatemala to position ourselves in a new national market. In the medium term, we will seek alliances to produce within the country by using the plants or factories that Guatemalan um, businesses has. And in the last phase, we consolidate ourselves to begin to contribute to the country while through social projects and innovating the working conditions to contribute to the Guatemalan uh, working culture. So for this presentation, it's it. We already reached the end of the presentation. If you have any questions or comments, you will have my contact information, and I would like to return. So this is it. It's all for these presentations. Thanks for your attention.